The LA15 scale race is a grab bag event. Competitors are assigned an engine at random by grabbing a chit from this bag. During the LA15 scale race marathon last September, pit stops ranged from 10 seconds for some competitors to over 60 seconds for another. While I don't believe this variability has anything to do with the engines, I want to reassure all competitors that they have a fair chance of winning the race. To do this, last week I took all 8 engines to the field for testing. I inspected the fuel filters used in the event and found one of them contaminated with what looked like Teflon plumber's tape. It may have come from a fitting in the competitor's tank. I had inspected all fuel filters prior to the marathon, but I encourage competitors to check again before each race. Regardless, the contamination was not likely the cause of long pit stops, as the engine ran fine once it was started. The test of each engine worked like this. I used Omega 10% fuel and the mandatory 7.6 propeller. For the first start of the day, I pump primed the engine. I started the engine and found the needle setting for the highest RPM I could achieve. Then I let the engine run at this RPM for at least 3.5 minutes. This is longer than you would normally fly between pits, and certainly long enough for the engine to reach its maximum temperature. I then pinched the fuel line to simulate the typical fuel shutoff. After a quick splash of fuel to cool the cylinder, I applied the battery and flipped. Engine number 1 started with 2 flips. After each engine was tested, I applied after-run oil. 1 down and 7 to go. You'll notice that I'm not pump priming the engine during the pit stop. If you want a 1-flip pit, do not pump prime the engine. The LA15 floods too easily. A correctly mounted full fuel tank provides a small siphon action towards the venturi. If 3 or 4 flips won't start the engine, then try 1 stroke of prime and then flip. With engine number 4, you can hear it burn off the prime without starting. Bad luck. The engine is now dry and needs a pump prime. This pit took 28 seconds. Let's try it again. I ran engine number 4 for another 3.5 minutes. This time it started in 2 flips. All 8 engines can be started in 1 or 2 flips and none overheated. The pits were taking about 10 seconds. Add another 1 or 2 seconds for resetting the fuel shutoff in a real race situation. I don't know what would cause a pit to take longer than 60 seconds, but it's not the engines. I am confident that the grab bag engines perform consistently, and I look forward to another season of exciting racing.